it is. What's happening? So, today, I spent half the day working on the cylinder heads for the 351 Cleveland that's going to be going in the Rat Rod tow truck. Again, I hate that term. But we ran into an issue. Just like always, nothing can go smooth. So, got one cylinder head done. Just a simple basic valve job. This thing didn't have, if I had to guess, I would guess that it doesn't have a whole lot of miles on it. It wasn't carboned up. Like I said before, it has the old fiber timing chain and with the plastic gear, and it's still in good shape, and the chain was actually still tight, but the motor was really sludged up. So I decided to take the whole motor apart. Ran through this cylinder head, cleaned it up, lapped the valves in, new valve seals and all, put it back together, no problem. Get over to our second cylinder head. I'm going to show you how greasy this thing is too. And as you can see, it is a greasy, nasty pig. And that's what the whole motor's like. So you can see why I wanted to take it apart. But we ran into a problem with the passenger side cylinder head. This is on the right side of the motor. I think this is in here. You can see that movement. Let me see if I can bring you in a little closer. I don't know how good you can see it in the video, but our valve guides are just trashed. There you go. Look at that exhaust valve. Look how much that exhaust valve moves. Valve guides are just trashed in this cylinder head, which is really odd. Really odd that just this one side of the cylinder head is trashed. But as sludged up as it is, maybe it didn't get enough oil. I seem to remember something, and somebody can maybe in the comments can correct me, but I remember back in the day. Now I'm 51 years old. I've been working on this stuff since I was a kid. And if I remember something, I remember my old man telling me something about these Ford engines. Back in the day, one side, when you start them up, one side would get warm faster than the other. So if the car was used for short trips, they would always sludge up. And I remember something I always remembered was, if I remember right, passenger side would be the one that would always be sludged up or didn't run quite hot enough if the car was used on short trips. Now I could be wrong. That could just be an old wives' tale from back in the day. I don't know. But fast forward to 2023, and we're tearing this baby apart, and this head needs valve guides. Well, we got quite a few problems. We're probably looking at, there's only a couple of machine shops around here, and when I mean a couple, when I say around here, you could travel from Delaware from top to bottom in a couple hours, 2 hours. And there's only a handful of machine shops. Now, there's one right by where I work, but he's a couple of months out before he can even do anything or even look at it. So, what really irritates me even more is, I just moved to this place back in December. It is now the end of May. I threw 2 sets of these away. I had moved, these are just 2-barrel heads. I had moved 2 sets of these like 3 times. And when I was getting ready to move here, I said to my guys that were helping me, throw them in the scrap pile. I've moved them 3 times and haven't used them or even done anything with them in 10 years. Throw them away. The old saying, as soon as you throw it away, you'll need it. So I just got back a few minutes ago. Let's take a walk. I just got back, met a nice guy on the other side of town, about 14 miles from here. And I bought another 351 Cleveland, $300. Complete motor out of a Mach 1 Mustang. And it's a 2-barrel motor, so it's 2-barrel heads. I'm going to check the casting numbers, but I'm pretty positive they're the same heads. Complete. So we're going to pop a cylinder head off of this motor, tear it apart, and hopefully we got a set of good guides in one of those heads, and we can just keep right on moving and getting this motor back together. Like I said, I don't know if it's an old wise tale, but back in the day, I remember my pop saying something about the Ford motors would run hotter on one side, and unless you get them all the way up to temperature or something, I don't know. But if that is the old wise tale, we're going to rob the driver's side head just to be safe. So, yeah, another $300. But if the valve guides are good, and the seats are good, and the valves are good, and we can just wire wheel, clean everything up, lap them in, then we're good. We're just going to roll with it. Because that's all we did to the other head. It didn't really need anything. The seats were good. The guides were nice and tight. The valves weren't all beat out of it. But we did get, with this motor, exhaust manifolds. And I like this manifold here because I think I can make a pipe for that one really good, because the PTO is bolted to the passenger side of the trans on the truck. I think that manifold will help us make a pipe come down and go underneath the PTO and then out the back. So this actually might work. We might actually make out of this. Now the guy did, and I believe the guy said it was a running motor. He actually had the car there. He pulled the motor because the trans went bad. And he's in the middle of restoring the car. And he decided to put a 460 in the car instead of the Cleveland. Me, I'd rather have the Cleveland, but whatever. Everyone teach their own. So he had the motor there, and he said he just wasn't going to ever do anything with it. So he put it up for sale. And that's how I told him. I said, I just searched Marketplace this morning because, well, when I found that head, I thought, let me just look around and see if I can't find a cylinder head first before I try to send this one out to get it repaired. Now, I'm not going to throw it away. I will eventually have it repaired, but I know the one machine shop's a couple months out because I was going to take a 429 to him a couple weeks ago, and he said, can't even look at it for a couple of months. So it's probably going to be the same way with the cylinder head, even though I didn't talk to him yet, but I'm just going to guess it's probably going to be that way. But this motor doesn't look hateful. I mean, he did say it was a running motor. I mean, even all the exhaust studs are still good. They're not all rotted out. They're not all look like a pencil. All the heat shields are still on it. The car was actually a really nice car. So I think we'll be okay, I hope. So I'm going to get that cylinder head off. And let's take a peek at it and see what it looks like. Just got the other head off the other motor. You see we got 3 here. And we got a good cylinder head. So the guides are good in this one. Whew. There's a tiny, tiny bit of play in one of the exhaust valves, but we're going to let her roll. She'll be all right. The other one, head that I did, the guides are all nice and tight. This head here, the guides are nice and tight. Like I said, this one is unacceptable. And there's more than just that one in that head. So this isn't a performance build anyway. This is the motor we're going to use in the tow truck. Get this thing going. So now that I actually have a second Cleveland, since I bought this one today, down the road, it's sitting outside there, down the road we'll actually do something and build performance motor. So we'll send the heads out and we'll have bronze guides put in the heads and have them fixed correctly. This motor, the heads that I'm doing now, and cleaning up and lapping and doing valve seals on, it's sitting over there. It was a good running engine, which actually is kind of funny that the guides, as bad as they are, you'd think it would have run really crappy, but it actually ran good. So I just wanted to run through and freshen them up, and then that's when I found that issue. So, well, now we're going to move forward. We'll go ahead and clean this head up, and now it's raining out there. So now I got to go find a tarp, cover that up because it's sitting outside. So look, holla at your boy, and I'll give you another update as soon as I got more.